It seems to me, first of all, from what I understand from doctors, that's really rare. If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
And when it comes to establishing your worldview, I was curious, what newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand the world?
I've read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
But like what ones specifically? I'm curious that you...
all of them, any of them that have...
Can demonic spirits attach themselves to inanimate objects? The answer is yes.
Welcome to Twattwaffle of the Week. Welcome to this week's edition of Twattwaffles of the Week. Like before, picking just one story has been quite difficult. Choosing an item not plastered all over the mainstream even more difficult. Although there is really nothing special about these stories, the headlines just caught my eye. This story is one that Beyond the Trailer Park has mentioned in passing on our episodes concerning Mormonism.
Mormon baptism for the dead sees resurgence, despite Jewish outcry.
According to Haaretz, quote, "They have learned that this work saves not just the dead, it saves all of us. There are now many people who have accepted baptism in the spirit world. This is the work of our generation." End quote. While it doesn't seem to be anything new per se, as Deb noted, they just had their general conference and apparently there was a push to keep doing it. End quote. Think measles is harmless?
Measles outbreak spreads across Europe as parents shun vaccinations, World Health Organization warns.
This is where the U.S. is headed, if nutjob anti-vaxxers get their way. The orange man in charge is included in this, as well as his BS conspiracy theories of vaccinations causing autism, and the thought of hiring RFK Jr. to look into, quote, safer vaccines. Vaccinating your kid or yourself if you're not up to date is really a big deal, especially if you're in a struggling country. On a side note concerning science and technology as a whole,
Trump leaves science jobs vacant, troubling critics.
The gist, according to the New York Times, is it's unclear whether the vacancies are the result of the Trump administration's overall slowness in hiring, or is it a signal that the president places less importance on science and technology than President Obama did. Over in Italy, a good illustration that the wearing of head covering is not a voluntary notion.
Diaspora Bangladeshi mother shaves daughter's head for not wearing veil.
Quote, "A Bangladeshi woman has reportedly shaved her daughter's head in Italy when she found out that the latter removed her hijab soon after leaving the house every day." End quote. As Deb and I mentioned last week during our conversations concerning whether the wearing of the hijab was a choice or not, this story, obviously, it's not a choice in this family. As for our twat of the week, we once again have kind of a tie. First, there is none other than Kevin Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo's next faith-based movie is about the Pledge of Allegiance without, quote, under God.
According to Hemant Mehta, One Nation Under God, which begins filming on April 8th, is all about a Louisiana magnet high school where they don't say under God in the Pledge of Allegiance. When a new student challenges the policy, cue the Christian hero, he has to convince his moderate teacher, played by Sorbo, and the policy-defending principal, played by Casser Van Dien. The debate even reaches the presidential campaign, where one of the candidates, played by Antonio Sabato Jr., happens to be an alumnus of the school and gets in trouble for promoting faith in schools. As Hemant notes, the pledge is basically reverting back to pre-1954 status, and as I have noted before, Francis Bellamy, the author of the original pledge, was a Christian socialist influenced by the writing of his cousin. the notion of Jesus as a socialist actually took root here, and it's actually antithetical to the GOTP's tendencies. And let's not forget the Bellamy salute. Our second twat of the week, it's more of an organization than an individual, is Liberty Counsel. And I have a really bad feeling they're going to be very prevalent in further listings.
Liberty Counsel loses ridiculous lawsuit against marriage equality.
Quote, Liberty Counsel filed a lawsuit that they admitted was ridiculous against same-sex marriage, though it wasn't ridiculous in the way they thought it was. They filed it on behalf of two people, one who wanted to marry their computer, and the other wanted to marry their parrot. That suit has been dismissed. As Ed Brayton points out, quote, they missed the real problem of their analogical comparison, which is that neither a computer nor a parrot can give their consent to marry, whereas gay people can. The court was right to dismiss it, but they also should have issued some sort of reprimand to the attorneys for bringing such a clearly frivolous case and wasting the court's time. End quote. So, there's our twats of the week. Now, this week's honorable mentions. Scott Walker will ask Trump to let him drug test poor people who need health care. That's according to Think Progress. NASA's $1.1 million grant to study how aliens could impact religion is even worse than we thought. That's from the Friendly Atheist. Gay men are being rounded up and killed in Chechnya. Huffington Post. 20,000 convicted drug offenders. Cases will get thrown out thanks to this rogue chemist. This one kind of pisses me off. And that's from Huffington Post. Oh, and one last thing, and this is kind of a PSA. To the parents of newborns, or to those of you that know parents of newborns, get the fucking vitamin K shot for your babe. Sadly, AV morons have convinced new parents that the injection is a travesty against nature when it is, in fact, a lifesaver. Gavin Sanopy notes, vitamin K deficiency bleeding, VKDB, occurs when a baby's blood doesn't have enough vitamin K to form a clot, which can lead to uncontrolled bleeding, often without any immediate noticeable signs. Especially dangerous when it occurs in the head or intestines. VKDB can lead to permanent damage or death. A one-time dose given in the thigh, the vitamin K shot protects infants until 4 to 6 months of age, when they start consuming sources of the vitamin in solid food, and when beneficial bacteria that produce vitamin K populate the intestines. Anti-vaccine activists claim that oral doses of vitamin K, or making sure a breastfeeding mother gets plenty of nutrients to pass on to her child, are sufficient alternatives. But the facts are clear. There is no recommended safe alternative to the vitamin K shot. End of my little PSA rant. And now, back to our show.